Today we are doing Jack's Advanced Matchup Guides versus Juggernauts. Let's get into it. Let's start with Garen. So against Garen, the things to know is his cooldowns are important. His Q, 8 seconds. W, 23 seconds. E, 9 seconds. Your longest cooldown is your Counter-Strike with 16 seconds, which means you can trade him twice during his W cooldown. That's important to note. Also, it's important to note his Q is only 9 or 8 seconds, while your E, Counter-Strike, is 16, and you kind of want to use Counter-Strike to block his Q. So you have those trading windows that you have to be careful about. Let's get into it. So as I talked about earlier, you want to block his Q, the Counter-Strike, and then you can trade him and win him level 1. He's going to go up, he's going to use his Q, I hit him, I use my E, and then I trade out and I win the trade. And this is how you want to generally play this matchup, and then you're going to beat him up slowly. Now regarding the waves, it doesn't really matter who pushes and who doesn't push. What I'm trying to do is to keep up my stacks of passive, because if I want to try and beat this guy, then I need a lot of passive stacks. So I'm keeping up my passive so I have a faster attack speed, and then I'm trading with him all the time. I'm skilling W second here, and the only reason I do that is because I'm confident that I'm stronger than him and I can beat him, because I've already played better than him by trading him. So I'm just going to fight him. If you're losing the trades, if let's say you don't manage to hit your E's properly, then just go Q and play it a bit safer. W is only if you want to play super aggressive. Just going to keep jumping in him and fighting him. I know Warwick is coming, but I know that I'm really strong, and I'm Jack, so I can escape pretty reasonably. Here what I'm doing is I'm all-inning the guy, because I have that opportunity. But if I also wanted to, another option, if you don't want to all-in the guy, but you don't need to, you can try and escape. So, when you know Warwick is coming up, if you stand around this area here, then Warwick comes, you can run down, and you can flash over the wall, you can flash over this wall, you can ward jump if you have a ward. There's a lot of opportunities here. In this game, I decided to just dive in because I can. And also I have teleport, so if you trade 1 for 1, I win out. Now I'm going to teleport back instantly because I want to get all the farm. I want to get as much as I can just to try and get as much lead as I can. And I want to push it in. So I'm just going to go up here, push it in. I'm not too afraid of the Warwick. Trying to get this minion, pushing in as fast as possible, and then just backing off and not fighting him. Now one thing you want to do if you can is you want to keep this guy up here for as long as possible. Because the longer you keep the enemy busy, the jungler and mid lane, the more your team have on the map, the more time your team have, the more your jungler is going to be ahead. Top lane, a lot of people talk about top lane not having a lot of impact. Your impact is actually through making other people waste time on you. If you don't die, that's great. If they get kills, then they get ahead, so be careful about that. Now one thing we can also note is that the enemy, Graves is also coming up, which is amazing as long as I don't die. So I don't see him coming up, I actually don't know, my teammate is pinging. Find this guy a little bit, because I know I have my Q. I'm extremely safe, honestly. There's no way Graves can kill me. Just jump away and be all Gucci. Now, I'm going to chase these two guys down. And the only reason I do this is because if I can make them turn on me without getting hit or damaged, that's amazing. So I want to see if I can bait them back to me and then go back top. This is kind of advanced strategies, but it helps your team a lot, because it just buys them a lot of time to do things. And if you look at mid lane right now, he's losing minions doing all of this. And the Warwick isn't doing anything. Now they're not wasting more time. There's another 2 seconds up and 2 seconds down. It's 4 seconds. It matters. Now what I want to do here, then I go back to top lane, is one thing you want to notice. Don't be greedy and don't go for CS. You don't need to. You're already winning. These guys, they might come back. You don't care. You don't need CS. You're already really far ahead. Everything is going amazing. Play safe. One really important trait you want to learn as a top lane, this is very crucial, is because teleport is a longer cooldown now, or if people are running Ignite, then same thing, because people can't teleport back to lane as often. This is a very important trick to do. So sometimes you want to go for losing trades on purpose, and I'll show you exactly why. This is a really high strategy that most people don't actually utilize, even in high elo. What I'm doing here is I'm just going for the trade. I know he's going to win, because I'm standing inside of his E, and he's using his W, so he's using everything, and this is not a good trade for Jax. It's not what you want to take normally. But I take the trade regardless, because I can make him low on health. As you see here, I chunk him a lot. And then what I can do is, if you speed this up, is because I'm pushing during this entire moment, I can go down and take the plant, which regens me back up, and now I'm back to full. This is a small winning trade, which actually helps you out a lot, and now you can start beating him up. Now, the way you want to fight a Garen preferably is bait out his Q as I did here. Now I can E it extremely easy. He can't do anything. You just E it, fight him. He uses his W and his E ability, the spin. You walk out. If you can manage to walk out towards his side, because you know jungler isn't here, and then you can look to kill him. So I'm walking out, dodging all the damage, walking back in, and now I'm going to all-in him for the kill. That is generally how you want to see if you can set up the kill on the Garen. He flashed out, he survives, that's fine. Maybe I could have played slightly better, maybe I could have killed him. Not sure. Probably I could have. But regardless, that's how you want to play around his abilities. And here you just want to freeze because I don't need to base, I don't have any money. Nothing I need to do. Today's YouTube come from our latest video from Kyobi. Do you blind pick jacks? So personally, I tend to blind pick jacks a lot. I just do it because I like the champion. I would, however, say that blind picking jacks is not good unless you're one pick or if you play him a shit ton. It's not worth it, and the champion is overall not good enough to first pick. So personally, I wouldn't do it. But if you really want to and if you enjoy the champion, you can. But it's not the highest win rate. Next up, we have Jax vs Darius. A lot of people have been asking me about this matchup, so let's help you guys out. So the first thing to notice is cooldowns. Q is 9 seconds, W is 7 seconds, and his E ability is 24 seconds. Ultimate is 2 minutes, but we don't care that much about it. Now, there's two ways to play this matchup, and you need to remember this. The first one is you fight him and wait with using Counter-Strike till he uses Apprehend. Once he apprehends you, you Counter-Strike and walk away. For example, let's say he Qs, you dodge it, like you bait out his Q, then you jump onto him, you W him, you hit him again, and then he starts to apprehend you. He pulls you towards him, you E, you hit him once, and you walk away. Or maybe you just don't hit him, you just walk away. That's one way. The second way is you walk up to him, you W hit him, and he tries to use his W, which is called, let's find out what's called, Crippling Strike. He uses Crippling Strike, and you use Counter-Strike on it, so he doesn't hit you. Now, it's very important you manage to Counter-Strike his W, else you get fucked. Afterwards, you fight him till the Counter-Strike goes off, and then you have to leap strike away to minions. So the second way you can only use if you have something to jump towards. For example, if you're fighting him in the minion waves, behind his minions or close to his minions, that works. So as long as you can jump away, it's fine. Now let's look into this game. One little smart trick you can do is level 2, you can actually all-in a Darius, but this is very, very risky. You always start off with hitting him, use your E, that's pretty normal so far. And what we're gonna see here is he gets level 2 and he's gonna all-in the Darius. Darius gets level 2 a little bit earlier, Jax waits for his level 2, and a lot of people won't expect this play, so this is a small little trick you can do. Just walk up, attack, jump in to avoid his Q, and then you just all-in the guy. Now, one really big thing to note here is you're slightly stronger, so you can actually make this happen. And once you get this kill, you win out, because you have TP and he doesn't. He used 2 summoners, you used 1. But even if you use 2, it's still good. Now, one extremely important thing to note with the Darius matchup is you need to play this clean, play it as I already told you, from the whole way through. Because if you mess up, you will die, you have to waste summoners. Here's an example of that. So what I told earlier you have to always do, he jumps in, he's fighting the Darius, he wants to do all the damage he can. Darius hits his Crippling Strike, and at this point, this is what we talked about earlier, you need to make sure he doesn't hit it. Now Jax is screwed over. He keeps jumping in, he keeps fighting, but Darius is going to chase back, he gets all the stacks he wants, and Jax actually needs to flash out, even though he's ahead, because else he's going to die. And now they're even in summoners. Now, here's going to be an example of Jax doing the right trading, and he walks up, W as we talked about, he walks back a bit, eases Crippling Strike, fights him, and jumps away. He jumped away a little bit late then, it was almost close getting apprehended. If Apprehend had hit the Jax, Jax was gone, it's dead, bam, that's it. So you have to be really careful when you do this trade. It's possible to do it, but just be very careful. Now here's another important note. Whenever you can kill Darius, you don't have to go by the rules anymore. These rules exist until the point where you can kill him. If you can kill him, the rules don't matter anymore. You can fight him however you want, depending on how you kill him the easiest. For example, here you see Kobaka just jumping in on the Darius and not really giving a fuck because he thinks he can kill him. Jumps in, uses E, just walks him down, and bada bim bada boom, that's a kill. Now that works as well, but you have to only do that if you can kill him. If you can't kill him, he's gonna turn on you and he is going to kill you. So Jax coming back now, he's really fed at this point. He got a Tiamat and Dagger versus 2 Dorans, a Longsword and Boots. Now, here's how important it really is to keep to these rules. So right now we see Jax is getting level 6 soon, Darius is going to be level 5, that's what they're gonna trade at. Now Jax does a trade that he shouldn't do. Remember, if you want to jump on Darius, you first have to bait out his Q in some way. And now Jax doesn't respect that, so he's going for the other trade where he wants to counter-strike the Crippling Strike. And here's where it goes wrong. He goes in, he gets Crippling Strike. If that happens, you lose the trade. And as you can see, Jax is level 6. But Jax lost more health than Darius did, because he's losing that trade. If Darius had been 6, Jax would have been dead right there. So you always keep by the rules unless you can kill Darius. Don't go outside of the rules. It's very, very important. Because Jax also puts himself in a gank position. Could be getting ganked by Karthus or the jungler or whoever's there. And overall the lane is horrible now. Everything's just bad for him. And this is a really rough position to be in. Now let's do a small different section in this guide, because I want to talk a little bit about the position against Darius, because that's very important. The positions you want to be in against Darius are two different ones. Either you want to keep the minions around the middle, or you want him to push slightly to you. And the reason for this is because he got Ghost and Flash. Now, if you're pushing to him, he can always run you down. It's very dangerous. So if you're pushing to him, you want to have as large of a wave as possible, and then you want to shove it into his wave. It's very important you manage to do that. If you can't do that, then the problem is he's just going to run you down at one point. It's really awful. If you're close to your turret, you can always get quickly out. He can't get his stack up as easily. He can't activate Ghost and use it for much. So really important to try and keep your positioning in this area right here. Alright guys, next up we have Mordekaiser vs Jax. A lot of people have promised this one as well, but it's actually quite easy. Now let's get into the cooldowns. His Q is 9 seconds. Gets reduced by 1 second every time he levels it up, remember that. W 14 and E is 24. Doesn't matter how fast it levels up. Alright, so let's get into it. First thing you want to do is, against the Mordekaiser, your winning spike is level 1 to 5. You need to play aggressive. So what you're aiming to do is push hard in on the third wave. What you want to do here is be somewhat even the minions. You want to push slightly faster than him, not too fast. About 2 to 3 hits faster than him. If you do it too fast, then you shove the wave in too quick. That's bad. And then you want to try and do as much damage as possible to him. So let's see what happens here. Jax should be fighting him. Walk up on E. You can also avoid the Q. That's fine. He used Q. Now you definitely want to fight. So Jax have a 9 second cooldown. He can walk up and just fight. Burns the bone plating. That's great. Next time, you should walk up, fight, and actually use his counter-strike. He could also counter-strike before, but it doesn't matter too much. That's what you want to look. Right now, he got a 6 second window still. He can easily fight this. Even if Q is up, you can still fight at this point. The Q is up. Jax is getting his level 2 soon. This is actually pretty good. His wave control is awesome here. This is how you want to control the wave. He could have been fighting a little bit more, but overall, great wave control. Now, he wants to go on Mordekaiser. So one thing to note is, when you use your E, don't activate it and hit the minions if you can avoid it. Try and activate it after you get past the minions. Honestly, you want to wait as long as possible, but try not to hit the minions here. What he does is he hits that minion. That's pretty bad, but regardless, it's fine. Could have done an extra hit, but still, the idea is there. That's what you want to do. Get in a fight. Now, one thing to note is the second wave here. Often, if you get ganked top lane, it's on the third wave. Especially if the enemy jungler starts bot side, just get down and get a ward quickly. Against Kayn specifically, I'd probably ward here, but regardless, just get a ward out, you know? You can do it. Doesn't really matter what you do against Kayn, just general jungle tip. Now, as you can see here, problem is he actually pushed a little bit too fast. It's not perfect here. He's a little bit too close to Mordekaiser, and that reduces the damage you can do to him. Remember, you advance level 1 to 5, so you want to maximize your damage. Because you pushed too fast, or this guy did, he isn't able to do that. Now, what you want to try and do is you want to avoid Mordekaiser getting a lot of hits on you to activate his passive, his free hits. So if you can dodge the Q, you can fight him. If you don't dodge the Q, try not to fight him. And then that's how you do it, basically. So on the third wave, shove it in as fast as possible. He should be auto-taking every single minion like a fucking maniac right now. He should be like all the time. It's really important you push here. Now what happens here is he starts fighting after getting hit by Q and E. He takes a bad trade. He's not pushing fast enough. Everything here is really horrible. And this puts him in a bad spot because now he could be getting ganked, or he can't do as much, or if he wants to help his jungler because his jungler is invading in this case, then now he's got to choose, am I going to lose minions to help my jungler, or am I not going to lose minions and stay in top and not help my jungler? Where before, if he pushed it properly, he could just go help his jungler and lose nothing. Now he's going to choose to help his jungler, which is fine, nothing special, yada yada. He goes down, gets a kill, gets red buff, great. Alright, we're back in the lane. So what he needs to do right now is, he got 2 options. That's a good trade overall. You got 2 options here. Either you shove this or you freeze it. And if you freeze this wave, the best way to do it is, honestly, this is a dick move. You literally just stand right in front of your minions, let Mordekaiser Q you, he Qs you, hits all the minions, and now he pushes. He doesn't want to push, so that's awful for him. So just allow him to hit you for free if he wants to. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go down here, because then if he hits you, he doesn't hit the minions. You want him to hit the minions, because this is a perfect wave where you can control how he's going to manipulate the wave if he hits you. And if he doesn't hit you, just sit right in front of them. If he walks up to you, smack him. If he doesn't, who cares? You take minions, he doesn't get any minions. Great. Now, as you see, he Qs, you take damage. Yeah, this is horrible. It doesn't even push, didn't do anything. And you want him to push right now, because you want to abuse him, and this is the best way you can do it. You don't want to be too close to his tower. What he did here, he Q'd, you can jump him. He was right here, outside the turret aggro, you can jump him. Now, one really important thing I want to talk about is minion wave manipulation. It's really important. In this case, he just chunked the Mordekaiser low, and the wave is pushing to him. All you gotta do here is base at the same time she's basing right now. Just base. You cannot push this wave in time. It's impossible. You're not gonna get an advantage by trying, and you also want him to push towards you so you can set up ganks on him and try and abuse him. By pushing this, you only put yourself in more danger, you get nothing out of it, and you're going to lose minions anyways, because now you can't base in minion aggro. Or minion XP range, sorry. So now at this point they're both 6, and at this point you're actually in a bad spot. You don't really beat Mordekaiser. So unless you already got a lead, you don't beat him anymore. Kind of even to him, and what you want to focus on is just either shove in the waves if you can, if he allows you to, or just farm and chill and set up ganks for the junglers. You don't want to focus as much on dominating him anymore. Now the last thing I want to tell you in this matchup, which is extremely important, when you're fighting against the Mordekaiser, he fires out his Q, which is a small range right in front of him. What you want to do is you want to walk up and down in this path, up and down, instead of walking back and forth. If you walk back and forth towards your tower and towards his tower, then you're much more likely to be hit, so you want to start learning to move up and down. A really good way to do it is move around in circles, so you move in a circle down or in a circle up. And then you just always try and move around in circles, because that makes it a lot harder to hit you.